Hey friends, this is the mrsvolfie from our half-acre homestead, and somebody requested that I make a pie from completely dried apples. So here we go. I'm going to make a lazy Monday dried apple pie. You're going to need 2.5 to 3 cups of dried apples. These are my home dried apples. There's nothing special to them at all. You're going to need a splash of lemon juice, and you're going to need some boiling water. Okay, and now to these apples, I'm going to add a squirt of lemon. If you have cider or apple juice, go right ahead and use that to rehydrate your apples. But when you dehydrate apples, you're only taking out the water, not the flavor. So why would I bother? And besides, I don't have any apple juice. I put a splash of vinegar in a 2-cup carafe here, and I'm going to add the equal amount, which is 2.5 to 3 cups of boiling water. And I'm going to pour it all over these apples, and we're just going to let them sit. Okay, so our apples have been soaking in that water for about an hour. And I think I used too much water, but I'm going to strain these apples, strain the water. Could have done that better. Strain the water off and set those apples aside. And let's get our pie shell ready. Oh man, I was not recording. I strained my apples and strained the water into this cup. I laid my apples, my soaked apples, in a frozen prepared pie shell. And now I put a half a stick of butter and a couple of tablespoons of flour into this pot, and I am making my thickener. And now we're going to add the juice that we strained off of the apples. I may have actually too much because I'm using a store-bought pie shell and it's actually rather shallow. And to this, I'm going to add 1 cup of organic sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now this is not thickening up as much as I would like. Oh, but it's so good. Okay, let's get this over to the pie. Now, that is a little runny, so I'm just going to take a half a tablespoon of tapioca starch and dust my top of my apples with that. And now I'm going to pour our sauce. So I think using 2.5 cups to 3 cups of water to soak the apples was a little excessive. So next time, for 3 cups of apples, only use 2 cups of boiling water. We're going to pour this all over our pie. Now remember, these are going to swell again, some. And I have some left over because, like I said, I used too much. Now I didn't stop to make pastry today. I'm going with what's in my freezer, and what I have here is a roll of puff pastry. And what I'm going to do is take a piece of this and roll the cutting roller over it. This is a pastry lacer. And roll the rest of that up for another day. I'll lay this over top. Oops. You know what? I should have rolled it a couple of times over it. My fingers under here and see if I can't help it apart a little better. I maybe should have done that ahead of time. Oh well, live and learn. That's what life's all about, living and learning. Well, I can't find a pastry brush, so I'm just going to take my whisk here and dab. It will amaze me if this pie turns out. I kid you not, people. Because this is one of the ugliest pies I have ever made. But I bet you it's going to be delicious. This may get a thumbs down. Say your prayers, rabbit. Okay, our timer has gone off. Let's see how the ugly pie turned out. Yeah, I hear you. Well, I'm glad I put it on a cookie sheet, but you know what? That does not look bad. We'll only know how it tastes when Papa comes home. This is Lazy Monday apple pie. Holy crap, Howard.
A la mode.
That's not a la mode, that's ice cream a la apple pie.
It's all good.
I made this out of dried apples. Out of completely dried apples.
Wouldn't know.
Thank you, dear. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, I cheated, used the wrong pastry, and I should have used less water, but for a lazy day pie, works for me. Take care, God bless.